My husband's parent controlled our finances, saying, "You're too young to manage money wisely." My husband agreed and transferred access to them. I smirked, opened my laptop, and said, "Funny, because I just transferred something too." Their faces turned white as they saw their bank balance drop to zero. I, 24 female, married my husband, Ryan, 27 male, after dating for 5 years. I loved him. I really did. But I underestimated one thing: his blind loyalty to his parents. Ryan's parents, Susan and David, were well off. Not billionaires, but comfortably wealthy. They lived in an expensive house in Connecticut, took yearly trips to Europe, and always had the latest luxury cars. They thought they were better than everyone, and they especially thought they were better than me. I didn't grow up poor, but I wasn't raised with wealth. My parents were immigrants who worked hard to give me a good life. I put myself through college, got a business degree, and built a solid career in finance. By the time I got married, I was making more than Ryan. His parents never outright said they disapproved of me, but it was obvious. The fake smiles. The condescending "oh, you wouldn't understand" comments when they talked about investments. The backhanded "Ryan has always been so generous, I hope you appreciate what he does for you." Ryan was clueless about all of it. Or maybe he just didn't care. I ignored it at first. Let them have their little superiority complex. It didn't affect our marriage. Until it did. A few months after we got married, Ryan came home with news. "My parents are going to help us manage our money." I frowned. "What do you mean?" He smiled like this was the greatest thing ever. "They think we're too young to be handling finances on our own. So they offered to take care of it for us. Just for a little while, until we're more stable." I laughed. "We're plenty stable. We both have good jobs." "It's not about that," he said. "It's just. They've been doing this for years. They know how to invest, how to budget, how to plan for the future. They're just trying to help." I stared at him. "Ryan, what did you do?" He hesitated. Then, in the most casual tone, he said, "I transferred everything into the family trust." I thought I misheard. "The what?" "The trust. My dad set it up. It's how they manage all their money. This way, they can handle everything for us." I felt my stomach drop. "Ryan, are you saying you gave your parents control of our money?" "They're not controlling it," he said, like I was being dramatic. "They're just managing it. If we need something, we just tell them, and they'll take care of it." I was shaking. I worked my ass off to build my savings. I had $75,000 set aside, my money from years of hard work. And now? His parents could do whatever they wanted with it. I took a deep breath. "So let me get this straight. If I want to buy something, I have to ask your parents?" "It's not like that," he insisted. "They'll just make sure we're making smart choices." I stared at him. He really didn't see the problem. "I don't need a babysitter for my money," I said. Ryan sighed, like I was being difficult. "It's not just about you. It's our money, and this is what's best for us." "Oh. Okay." I smiled. Nodded. Said, "All right." Then I opened my laptop. Here's what Ryan and his family never bothered to ask: what exactly do I do for a living? I work in financial fraud investigations. I know exactly how trusts work. I know loopholes. I know how to move money around in ways that don't leave a trace. Ryan and his parents thought they were the smartest people in the room. They weren't. That night, while Ryan was asleep, I got to work. I transferred every penny of my personal savings into a new account his parents couldn't touch. I withdrew $20,000 from our joint checking and put it in a separate account under my name. I logged into the family trust, which, thanks to Ryan's blind trust in me, I had legal access to. And then? I emptied it. The next morning, I was drinking my coffee when Ryan's phone rang. It was his mother. Screaming. Something was wrong with the accounts. Money was missing. Ryan looked confused. "That doesn't make sense," he said, opening his banking app. His face went pale. I took a sip of my coffee and smiled. He looked at me, eyes wide. What happened?" I shrugged. "Oh. That? I just transferred something too." Silence. His parents were yelling through the phone. Ryan put them on speaker. "You had no right to do this," his dad shouted. I raised an eyebrow. You mean, you had no right to take control of my money? His mother's voice was shrill. You don't understand how finances work, sweetie. You've made a huge mistake. I laughed. I actually laughed out loud. Susan, I said, voice sweet as honey. I work in financial fraud. You really think I don't understand how money works? Dead silence. I leaned forward. Let me explain something to you. Since I never legally signed over control, your access to that trust was invalid. Ryan's dad sputtered. We have lawyers, go ahead, I said. Take me to court. Explain to a judge how you stole my money and expected to get away with it. More silence. Then, his dad tried a new tactic. You don't want to start a war with us. I smiled. Oh, David. I already did. Ryan finally found his voice. I trusted you, he whispered. I looked at him. Really looked at him. You trusted them, I corrected. And you let them take everything from me. His face crumpled. I took another sip of coffee. I wasn't done yet. Ryan sat there, gripping his phone like it could somehow undo everything. His parents were still on speaker, breathing heavily on the other end. The shock hadn't worn off yet. I waited. Let them stew in it. Then, Susan's voice broke through the silence, sharp as a knife. You stole from us. I laughed. You mean the way you stole from me? David, who was always the calmer one, spoke next. This is not how families handle things. We were looking out for you both. We were being responsible. I leaned back. Oh, is that what you were doing? And when exactly were you planning to let us have access to our own money again? Silence. That's what I thought. Ryan finally snapped out of it and turned to me, voice shaking. What did you do with the money? I shrugged. Moved it somewhere safe. Somewhere they can't touch it. David's voice went dark. You put us in a very difficult position, young lady. I almost rolled my eyes at the young lady comment. He still thought I was some clueless girl who didn't know how the world worked. So I dropped the real bombshell. I also spoke to a lawyer. Ryan flinched. His parents stopped breathing. What? Susan finally asked. I smiled. Turns out, transferring joint marital assets into a trust without both spouses signing off? Not legal. I could practically hear Susan clutching her pearls. You wouldn't, David said. Oh, I would, I said cheerfully. And guess what else I learned? Since Ryan handed over control of our finances without my consent, and you two started moving things around, I could make a very strong case for financial abuse. Ryan paled. That's exactly what it is, I cut in. You took my money without asking. Your parents had full control over what I could and couldn't spend. That is the definition of financial control. And guess what the court hates? No one spoke. Abusive in-laws. For a few seconds, no one said anything. Then, David spoke, his voice carefully measured. I think we should all calm down and talk about this privately. No thanks, I said. I like an audience. Ryan ran a hand through his hair, panic all over his face. We need to fix this. We can't go to court. I tilted my head. Why? Worried about something? His parents went silent. And that's when I knew. They weren't worried about the money. They were worried about what I might find if I dug deeper. Susan, who never shut up, was dead quiet. I clicked my tongue. There's something else, isn't there? Ryan swallowed. No, but I saw the way his fingers curled into fists. The way he avoided my eyes. Oh. Oh. I glanced at his parents' house of cards and gave it the gentlest little push. You know, I mused, I bet if I asked a forensic accountant to look into that family trust, they'd find some really interesting things. Susan actually gasped. David's voice turned ice cold. You don't want to go down that road. I grinned. That sounded a lot like a threat. Ryan stood up. All right, stop. Let's just talk. Now he wanted to talk. I tapped my chin. I think we should all be honest, don't you? Maybe I should call a lawyer right now. I wonder what we'd find in Daddy's trust fund. David finally snapped. This is our business, not yours. You made it mine when you stole from me, I shot back. And now I really want to know why you're panicking. Ryan's parents were smart. Wealthy people don't freak out over losing money. They freak out over being exposed. Which meant I had leverage. I leaned in, lowering my voice. What exactly would I find, David? He didn't answer. Ryan suddenly grabbed my wrist, his grip tight. Stop. I yanked my arm away. Get your hands off me. He hesitated. And in that moment, I knew I was done. This wasn't just about money anymore. This was about control. Ryan had chosen his side. It wasn't me. I stood up and grabbed my phone. I think I'll go find out myself. Ryan's face twisted. Please. Just don't do this. I looked him in the eye, and in the calmest voice possible, I said, I already did. I walked out of the kitchen, my heart hammering in my chest, but I didn't let it show. I had them exactly where I wanted them. Ryan scrambled after me. Wait, just stop for a second. I didn't stop. I grabbed my purse and headed for the front door. Where are you going? He asked. I turned and smiled. To talk to someone who knows how to deal with financial criminals. His face turned sheet white. That's when I knew. It wasn't just a guess. There was something shady going on in that family trust. And Ryan knew. His hands were shaking. Just don't tell anyone, okay? Just give me a chance to fix this. Susan was still shrieking through the phone, demanding to know what was happening. David had gone completely silent, which was even worse. I could hear him thinking, calculating. I put my hand on the doorknob. Ryan, I said, tilting my head, is there something you want to tell me? His throat bobbed. No, I watched his face. The way his jaw clenched, the way his fingers twitched. He was lying. I didn't leave. Not yet. I walked back into the kitchen, calm, careful, placing my purse down like I wasn't about to explode. I leaned against the counter. Okay. Let's play a game. Ryan blinked. What? Let's pretend I don't already know everything. And you tell me what exactly your family has been doing with our money. His mother's voice was still coming through the phone, now a frantic whisper, don't say anything. I ignored her. Ryan swallowed. Nothing. There's nothing going on. Liar, I said immediately. He winced. Then, a new thought hit me. One that made my stomach drop. I turned my gaze to David. Wait. He didn't react. But Susan did. Her breath hitched. Just a tiny, tiny little sound. It was enough. I took a slow step forward. The trust wasn't just holding our money, was it? David didn't move. His face was completely blank. Too blank. Susan made another small noise, like she was trying not to choke. I exhaled through my nose. Holy shit. Ryan was panicking now. Just don't go digging into things that don't concern you. I turned to him so fast he flinched. Don't concern me? I repeated. You stole my entire savings. You let your parents treat me like a child. And now you're telling me I shouldn't go digging? Ryan was shaking. And then it hit me. Like a puzzle piece snapping into place. I turned to David. This isn't just about money, is it? David's expression didn't change. But I saw the flicker of something in his eyes. Regret. Oh, he wasn't sorry for what he did. He was sorry that I figured it out. I smiled, slow and sharp. What did you do, David? Nothing. Silence. And then, Susan whispered, please. Just let this go. That was all I needed. I grabbed my phone and walked straight out the door. Ryan chased after me, grabbing my wrist. Don't. I yanked away. Get your hands off me, Ryan. He stepped back like I had burned him. And I ran. I ran to my car, slammed the door, and peeled out of the driveway. My hands were shaking. This wasn't just about the money. Something bigger was happening. And I was going to find out exactly what. I drove straight to my lawyer's office. My hands still trembled on the steering wheel, but my mind was racing. Something was off with Ryan's family. I had no idea just how deep it went, but I had to know. The clock ticked loudly in the waiting room. I couldn't sit still. Every passing second felt like a hammer smashing down on me, and I wasn't sure whether I wanted to break down or scream. I was shaking. And I hated feeling like this. My lawyer, Carl, finally ushered me into his office, a calm presence in the storm. Take a seat, he said, looking at me with a sympathetic smile. I didn't sit down. I started pacing. Carl, I need you to get a forensic accountant. I need to know everything about that family trust. Everything. Carl's brows furrowed and his voice lowered. Okay. But why now? What's going on? I ran a hand through my hair. I've been lied to. My husband and his parents have been playing games with me. They took my money, Carl. And I think it's worse than that. I think they've been hiding something. Carl leaned back in his chair. Take a deep breath. It's going to be all right. We'll get the answers you need. But if you're sure about this, we'll need a lot of documents and evidence. I don't care, I snapped. I want the truth. Hours later, after I met with the accountant, I went home. My apartment felt strangely quiet, but the weight of what I had learned crushed me. Ryan's parents had been using the family trust for something other than just investments. Carl had confirmed my suspicions. The family trust had been used for tax evasion. A massive amount of money had been hidden from the government for years, funneled into fake accounts. That wasn't just illegal, it was criminal. I couldn't sit on this anymore. I texted Ryan, we need to talk. He responded almost immediately, can I come over? When I saw him standing at my door, looking like a beaten dog, I couldn't even look at him. What the hell happened, Ryan? I demanded. How could you keep this from me? How could you let them use us to cover up their mess? He looked like he was about to cry. I didn't know it was like this. I swear, I didn't know. I stepped back, holding up my phone with the evidence Carl had sent. You think this is a joke, Ryan? You've been working with them, your parents, helping them steal from the government. And you didn't think this would affect me? Ryan's eyes went wide. He stumbled back, and for the first time since this whole thing started, I saw fear in his eyes. I didn't know. I didn't know the extent of it. I just thought, you thought. I shook my head. You trusted them. You put your entire future, our future, into their hands. I worked my ass off for everything, Ryan. Everything. And you let your parents take it all. He took a step forward, his face contorted in pain. I was just trying to protect us. I thought it was the right thing to do. You thought, I repeated bitterly. And now, look where we are. I trusted you. I let those words hang in the air. The silence that followed was suffocating. Then, Ryan spoke again, barely above a whisper. I love you. I do. But I was scared. I didn't know how to tell you. My parents, they control everything. They've always controlled everything. I didn't know how to get out from under them. It hit me like a punch to the gut. So, you've been living in their shadow, letting them decide everything for you? Even our money? Tears started to fill his eyes, but I didn't care anymore. I couldn't. I was beyond that. You let them ruin everything, I said, voice shaking. I'm not some little girl you need to protect, Ryan. I don't need their help. I'm not your project. I'm your partner. But you never saw me that way, did you? Ryan sank to his knees. I'm so sorry. Please, please forgive me. I didn't mean for it to get this far. I didn't realize what I was doing. I was numb. His apologies didn't mean anything anymore. You're sorry, I whispered. But sorry doesn't fix this. It doesn't fix the fact that I trusted you, both of you, and you threw that trust away for your parents. There was a moment, just one single, terrible moment, when everything that had been building up finally cracked wide open. Ryan stood up, shaking, and his voice went from quiet to loud. You don't understand. My parents, I cut him off, raising my voice. No. You don't understand. I don't give a damn about your parents, Ryan. I care about us. And now we have nothing. Nothing because you put them first. And I don't know how to come back from that. Ryan's face twisted in anger and pain. So, what, you're just going to walk away? After everything we've been through? I stared at him, my chest tight. You don't get it, do you? You let them control everything, and you let me be a part of their game. Now you want me to just pretend that's okay? I don't want you to leave me, he said, his voice cracking. But there was nothing left. The trust had been shattered, and no apology could fix it. You already made that decision for me, Ryan, I said, voice cold. You decided I wasn't good enough to make the decisions for us. And now you want me to be the one who fixes everything? Ryan collapsed onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. He was sobbing, and honestly, I felt nothing. I didn't want to feel anything. I walked to the door and opened it slowly. I need to be alone. He didn't move. He didn't even look up. As I stepped out into the hall, I could hear him calling my name, but I didn't stop. I didn't turn back. The truth hit me like a wrecking ball. I didn't need to fix him. I didn't need to make his choices for him anymore. I was done. The next day, I contacted a financial investigator. The truth about the family trust would come out, and so would the criminal activity. The authorities would be involved. But that was no longer my problem. I didn't feel relief. Not yet. Not completely. But I felt a sense of finality that I hadn't before. Ryan's parents tried to reach me multiple times. But I blocked their numbers. As for Ryan? He tried to apologize, tried to tell me how he'd fix things, but I could see the truth now, he couldn't fix this. I would. And I was better off doing it on my own. I didn't need a man who would let someone else decide how my life should go. I didn't need anyone who couldn't see me as an equal. It took months for the pieces to fall into place. But they did. I moved forward. Ryan, however, was left behind, stuck in his family's web of lies, with no one left to blame but himself. And in the end, I knew this was my win. I had taken control back. All of it.